નમસ્તે, મારું નામ હેલી બ્રહ્મભટ્ટ છે. સમગ્ર છેનહાસન હાઈસ્કૂલના 2014ના વર્ગ તરફથી તમારું આ પ્રસંગે સ્વાગત છે. السلام عليكم. أنا اسمي ريسا الهادي. أهلا بكم إلى 2014 محججين Chanhassen High School.
Buenas noches a todos. Me complica mucho darle hoy la bienvenida a esta ceremonia de graduación que están para nosotros. La clase graduada de la Escuela Superior de Chanhassen High School se siente muy honrada esta noche con estar en su presencia.
Magandang hapon. Ako ay si Luis Gensoli. Malugod po namin kayong tinatanggap sa ika-4 ng patatapos ng parangalan Chanhassen.
Sabari, Kanoy, Stefan Kwangbo, Sang Na, Kong, Nukien, Kong Chanhassen High School, Bisong Pun Sipsi, Pwak, Kanoy, Yindi Son Hap, Tuk Tan, Ti Ma Hom, Yindi Nai Muni, Kon Pwak, Kanoy, Tuk Kong, Kanoy, Ko Kapjai.
大家好，我想嚟歡迎領 Chanhassen High School 嘅高中畢業2014年。
Xin kính chào quý vị, tôi là Nguyễn Hoàng Lucas, đại diện cho những học sinh tốt nghiệp niên khóa 2014 đến tham dự lễ phát bằng tốt nghiệp lần thứ 4 của Chanhassen High School.
Dobroveče, ja se zovem Igor Veličković, u ime Chanhassen maturanata generacija 2014 želimo vam dobrodošlicu na 4. završnu svečanost Srednja škola Chanhassen.
Badarud, man nigzada dabiran as tarafet danish amuzane dabiristana Chanhassen, bahamigi khoshaman miguyam. همگی خوش آمدید.
Jambo, jina langu ni Jamie Odenga, mmekaribishwa nyote kwa shahada ya Chanhassen.
Good evening. My name is Tim Dorway, and I have the pure honor of serving as principal of Chanhassen High School. It is my pleasure to welcome you, members of the graduating class, District 112 staff, Superintendent Bauk, representatives of the Board of Education, parents, relatives, and friends to Chanhassen High School's fourth ever commencement exercises. Before we begin with our addresses tonight, I would like to first take a moment to thank our student musicians and their directors for sharing their talents with us. First, the Chanhassen High School Symphonic Winds under the direction of Mr. Paul Swanson, and second, the Chanhassen High School Concert Choir under the direction of Mrs. Sarah Gilbertson. I would also like to take a moment to introduce those guests on stage with us today, and I would ask them to stand when they hear their name and remain standing, and I would ask you to please hold your applause until all of them have been recognized. Superintendent Dr. James Bauk, Miss Kathy Gallagher, our Director of Teaching and Learning, Miss Carol Bob, School Board Chair, Miss Lisa Anderson, Vice Chair and Clerk, Miss Heather Nelson, School Board Member, Mr. Tim Klein, School Board Member, Mr. Fred Berg, School Board Member, Dr. Jeff Ross, School Board Member, Miss Amy Logue, School Board Member, Mr. Jim Swearingen, Assistant Principal, Mr. Austin Tollerson, Assistant Principal, and Mr. Dick Unger, Assistant Principal. Mr. Swearingen will be introducing our first student speaker today.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to introduce our first student speaker of the afternoon, Ms. McKenna Risch. McKenna is the daughter of Tina and Troy Risch and proud older sister of 4 siblings. While a student at Chanhassen High School, she participated in choir, including the elite women's group Vox, Link Crew as a mentor to incoming freshmen, National Honor Society. She served as co-president of the CAP Club, the Chemical Awareness Program. She was captain of the Chan women's soccer team and captain of the Chan speech team. McKenna is especially thankful for Mr. Songer, her middle school music teacher, who helped her realize her passion for music and for singing. Among her favorite high school memories are the speech team bus rides, which she describes as fun, crazy, and especially unpredictable. Next year, McKenna will attend Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee, where she plans to study music business. Her speech today is entitled Stories. Please give a warm storm welcome to Ms. McKenna Risch.
All right, for those of you that don't know, I am a major book nerd. Like, it's kind of a problem. You know how most parents would rather have their kids read instead of watch TV or play video games? My parents had to ground me from my books and tell me go watch TV, because that's how often I read. And it almost pains me how nerdy that sounds, but I couldn't help it. Now, one of my favorite series of all times is Harry Potter. Now, a few years ago, the last installment of the series was released, and I bought that book, sat down, and did not stop reading it until I finished its 759 pages. And when I did finish, I closed the book, sat there for a bit, and there's literally no other way to describe it but to say I was a hot mess. I was sobbing, cursing J.K. Rowling for only writing 7 books, until the little voice in my head said, "McKenna, what are you doing? It's just a book." Now, don't get me wrong. Those books are incredible. But I was so invested in the story between the pages that I forgot about my own story, the one I'm actually living. I've realized I read because I lose myself in books, because within those words, I can be braver, funnier, more adventurous than my real self. And that's when I think, Why do I do that? I am perfectly capable of going out and making my own story, of becoming braver, funnier, more adventurous. So why don't I? I'll tell you. Because it's scary. It's intimidating to create your own story. Because to do that is to laugh and cry, to hurt and heal, to succeed and fail, to love and lose. And I think we're all a little guilty of doing that, whether it's because you're a Netflix junkie, or you base how good a moment is on how many likes it gets, or you're the girl who's got her nose stuck in a book and misses her own life happening around her. 4 years ago, we entered Chanhassen High School as these kids who could not go through a single lunch period without popping at least 10 milk cartons. And yet, we still wanted to be treated like adults. We were strangers, interested to see how our stories would intertwine and change each other. And do you know when our best moments were? Our best moments weren't when we downcast our eyes at screens or books, but when we looked up, when we stood together under the Friday night lights to lose our voices cheering for our team, when we laughed with our friends at the lunch table until our stomachs ached and we couldn't breathe, when we finally told that one person how we really feel about them, ignoring our trembling hands as we spoke. They weren't moments that we broadcasted to the world for approval, but ones we enjoyed because we breathed genuine life into them, because we were conscious in that present moment. So, class of 2014, I challenge you. I challenge you to be courageous enough to live your story. Believe me when I say that you are so much more enthralling than any book or any status or any Instagram photo can ever be. I mean, look around you. Every single person in this room has a story, one that makes a difference. Leslie Silko says it well in her poem, Ceremony. She says, I will tell you something about the stories. They aren't just entertainment. Don't be fooled. They're all we have, you see. All we have to fight off illness and death. You don't have anything if you don't have the stories. The evil of the world can be mighty, but it can't stand up to our stories. So people might try to destroy the stories, to let them be confused or forgotten. You know, there's going to be people in life that will try to corrupt your story, to mold it the way they want. Be strong enough to stop them, to live your own story. In the movie We Bought a Zoo, Matt Damon's character says, if you can have 20 seconds of insane courage, literally 20 seconds of embarrassing bravery, then I promise something great will happen. And those came directly from the mouth of Matt Damon, so we know it's truth. Today is probably the last day that we will all be in the same room together. Tomorrow, our stories will diverge, and although our paths will be different, we will all have one thing in common: the power to choose. Every day is an adventure, a gift. We pride ourselves on being the YOLO generation, but we don't live only once. We live again and again, over and over, building our stories. Do what makes you happy. Do it so that in the future, when a child asks you what you did at their age, you have a story to tell them. My wish for you is that you never find the climax to your story, but that it only gets better and better. So, I will flash my nerd card one more time and quote the nerd-tastic show, Doctor Who. We're all stories in the end. Just make it a good one.
People get ready, 'cause here it comes, it's a light, a beautiful light, over the horizon into our eyes. Oh my, how beautiful. Oh my beautiful mother, she told me, son, in life you're gonna go far, and if you do it right, you'll love where you are. Just know that wherever you go, you can always come home. 240,000 miles from you, we've come a long way to belong here, to share this view of the night, a glorious night. Over the horizon is another bright sky. Oh my, how beautiful. Oh my irrefutable father, he told me, son, sometimes it may seem dark, but the absence of the light is a necessary part. Just know that you're never alone, you will always get back home. You will always get from the sun. People get ready, 'cause here it comes, it's a light, a beautiful light, over the horizon into our eyes.
Good evening. The graduating class has selected Ms. Laura Etnier as their staff speaker for this year's commencement. Laura is just wrapping up her 22nd consecutive year of service to students and parents as a public educator and her 14th as a teacher in our school district alone. She received both her undergraduate and master's degree in English from Northern Michigan University in Marquette, Michigan. In our district, she has primarily taught English 10, Advanced Placement Literature, and most recently, English 1011X. She has also in the past served as our Nordic ski coach for many years. Outside of her time at school, she enjoys pretty much anything outdoors, including running, biking, swimming, and timber framing. Laura loves building stuff. She has two wonderful boys, Bergen and Trygve, and is excited to say, "Hey, Mom and Dad," to her parents, Helen and John, who have come to celebrate with us tonight. They are lifelong teachers as well. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Laura Etnier for her speech, Lift as You Rise.
Thank you, class of 2014, for honoring me in this way. Just so you know, this is not lost on me that this is the ultimate in turnabout is fair play. Oh, let's have the English teacher give a speech, and we'll all come and bring our families. In the spirit of fair play, I hope I earn an A tonight. So welcome, board members, administrators, staff, parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters, and the class of Chanhassen, the Chanhassen class of 2014. Welcome to the celebration of I Think I Can. Tonight, as we look at your journey, your life, how you got here, we have to give a nod to the whole village of people who are part of this journey. So this thank you goes out to the first or second grade teacher. Don't do that. The first or second grade teacher who taught you how to read. And the fourth grade teacher who taught you like the other side of the number line, like the negative number line, doubling it. The science teacher who showed you the Diet Coke and Alka-Seltzer trick and made you go, wow, what if I? The middle school teachers and students who helped you learn that the subjects interrelate. Science and math, history and literature, art and music. The high school teacher who invited you to try one more time. And to your parents. Picks up everything. Who let you leave the house each day and then live your adventure and open the door to you when you got back home. If you're the parent of a graduate, would you please stand up and be acknowledged by the class? Grandparents, aunts, uncles, sisters, and brothers, anyone who's invested in the class of 2114, please stand for a moment just to receive our thank you. Chanhassen class of 2014, that's your village. Thank you for families and asset adults for lifting these young adults on their journey. And now, class of 2014, I get to help you commence on your journey. After all, your life is your life. And on your journey, I hope you will know you need to embrace change. Yeah, that's the 6 quarters that you're going to find in your jeans when you're doing laundry, and you are going to be doing laundry. And the 6 quarters will only get you a wash cycle. But I mean, you need to embrace change that will come at you fast next year. Be comforting that everything alive is changing. The only things that don't change are dead things. Leslie Marlin Silko tells us that. So be on the watch. Learn to appreciate change. Jump in with the folks who are creating positive change that you believe in, and you teach them, and they'll teach you on that journey, and you will lift as you rise. You'll have chances to take risks, to try, to fail, to evaluate, to redirect. Know that you must do all of these things in order to find the light of your dreams. You will lift as you rise. So don't let someone else drive your life. You'll be offered chances. Look for advice. Know this advice. Take the advice. Questions are often more important than answers, especially if you're in one of life's winters. Life sometimes will deliver months on end of bad news, and I call these times winters. I like to prepare myself differently when I need to cope with negative 20 degrees emotional stress. I use a thick coat of protective feathers around my vulnerable heart, but I always remember that I need to continue to be kind, even during these times. Everyone I know is fighting a quiet battle I know nothing about. If you find yourself in the middle of a winter, like 2014, that is colder and darker than you might have expected, wear your jacket. Actively look for signs of spring. And while you're at it, illuminate your journey with your own intellectual curiosity, your trusty headlamp. There is light somewhere. Ask questions. Listen. Learn. The very best presents are often in ugly packages. And then as you go to community, technical, and four-year colleges, as you seek to serve in our United States military, as you go to the job market, I would like to give you one word of advice. And here I want to tell a little story. If I could go back and give mini Lara advice on her graduation day, in the big hair 80s, balance would be it. Luckily, I was blasted with this lesson when I decided to leave the wonderful world of advertising and change my career to teaching. I quit copywriting, and I worked 4 jobs that would allow me to go back to school so I could earn the degree to teach with you in the K-12 schools. I was a Nordic ski coach, an on-call sub in 2 districts. I worked at Højgaards part-time, and I spent weekends filling in on a loading dock. It was a lot, and I believed I could do it all and do it all myself. It was the holidays when I was in a parking ramp carrying all the presents that I had bought from my car, and my now husband said, "Hey, do you want help?" And I said, "No, I got it." And I'll never know if he was laughing at me or not because I couldn't see over the boxes, but when I tried to open the door, he yelled from across the parking lot, "Laura, you know, balance doesn't mean adding a box to your left hand." And then I uttered something not nice. 2 days later, while driving from practice to the warehouse, it hit me. He wasn't talking about the boxes. He was using a metaphor. You know, that's a phrase that's used as a symbol for a bigger idea. He was really talking about my life. Aha, balance does not mean adding a box to my left hand. So I advise you to seek balance on these continuums: exercise and rest, seriousness and laughter, foods that are fun like donuts, and foods that sustain like baby kale. Eat something that grows out of the ground every meal. Balance texting with face-to-face. Look up from the phone. Balance tweeting out and listening in person. Balance Facebook and homework not at the same time. Balance doing stuff you know you're great at and trying something new. Balance giving help and learning to let yourself receive help. Balance yes and no. I'm empowering you to say no. Even though I wish you balance, you may teeter off balance sometimes, so stop and breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, because if you breathe through your mouth, it sends a message of panic to your brain. And find your inner quiet. Sometimes the light's inside you. The more often you do this process, the more light there will be. Your family, your parents, the faculty, they're proud of your accomplishments. You're marvelous. And this moment is to honor those achievements as you support you and you commence forth. In my sophomore English class, we always start the year by building a poem together. I have given this poem to half of your class already, but now I want to formally gift the poem Laughing Heart by Charles Bukowski to the Chanhassen class of 2014. It goes like this. Your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank submission. Be on the watch. There are ways out. There is a light somewhere. Might not be much light, but it beats the darkness. Be on the watch. The gods will offer you chances. Know them, take them. You can't beat death, but you can beat death in life sometimes. The more often you learn to do it, the more life there will be. Your life is your life. Know it while you have it. You are marvelous, and the gods wait to delight in you. It has been my honor to learn with you. I hope you continue to lift as you rise.
Let me get the right page. Our second student speaker this afternoon is Madeline Krochak. Maddie is the daughter of Bob and Nancy Krochak. Today, she's celebrating her graduation with her twin brother, Sean. Maddie truly enjoyed participating in cross-country while at our high school, having served as the women's cross-country captain this year. Maddie is also a nationally competitive figure skater, along with her sister, Kinsey. One of her favorite high school memories was the atmosphere at the men's senior night, or soccer senior night this fall. As a senior, Maddie loved having Mr. Theobald as her math teacher, calling him a high schooler himself. 2 things she most wants you to know is that Disney World is the best place on earth, and that she will own a husky one day. Her speech today is titled Point 2. Please welcome Maddie Krochak.
Hello, hello. Microphones are more useful when they don't point at your forehead. And I am here to give a speech today, but first let me take a selfie. So, admin, say hi. Class of 2014, squish together a little bit. That's totally going on Instagram. Good evening. My name is Maddie. 4 years. 1,460 days. 35,040 hours. 2,102,400 minutes. 126,144,000 seconds. 12,614,640,000 milliseconds for this moment, our graduation. Yet, I feel like over the years, graduation speeches have become so expected. The principal walks up to the podium, talks about how wonderful the class we are, announces the valedictorian, and away we go, reflecting on how we never thought we'd make it through junior year, and that math test that everyone thought they failed, and how amazing our senior homecoming football game was. But here we are, commencement day. We made it. But I want you all to know that this is not why I'm here. I'm not here so that everyone besides my parents can sit back and zone out my speech. I'm here because I most certainly am not our valedictorian, because I probably failed that math test. I'm here because I truly feel that I can equally represent us, the class of 2014, and because there is nothing more important than this moment. So as I sat down to write this speech, I knew it had to be special, to be different. And I realized that the biggest accomplishment I made in my own high school career was finishing my first marathon, the IMT Des Moines Marathon. And I remember, when I was running that race, it just really sucked. And let's be real, high school can sometimes suck too. But in the end, it's all worth it. So this is the direction I'm gonna go. For those of you who don't know, a marathon is 26.2 miles. About the distance from Chanhassen to Minneapolis on foot, without stopping. And so I figured it out, and high school compares to a marathon kind of like this. Freshman year, about 3 miles. Sophomore year, about 3 more miles. Junior year, the remaining 20 miles. And senior year, the point 2, 26.2 miles. It really couldn't be more accurate. Freshman year, we wait at the start line, a little nervous, a little excited, and soon the gun goes off, and we're thrown into this jumbled mass of people, following the crowd to embark on one of the scariest moments of our lives so far. Your adrenaline's pumping, and you watch those mile markers fly by. 1, 2, 3, and before you know it, the year is over. We lose our freshman title and embrace the journey onto our 4th mile, sophomore year. And so now high school is pretty easy. Our legs are warm, we've set our rhythm, and take the year one beat at a time. Throughout the 3 miles, we get our license and tick off the upperclassmen by parking your Ford in Jeep Row. Some of us take our first AP classes, and before you know it, you just drove by the 6th mile marker. And now life is just so fun. Pre-calc is a giant blister on your big toe, and you are seriously regretting the multiple AP classes you ate for breakfast. Tonight, you have to tweak 3 assignments in government to make it seem like you're a liberal. And you... and you should maybe make time to breathe once or twice. Oh, hello ACT test I didn't study for. Maybe I'll get a better score the 6th time. You'd think Sundays would be nice, but wait. Mom and Dad want you to get a job to start saving for college. Maybe I can rest never. We reach the point where we can no longer accept any more knowledge into our brain cells, and we start expelling the things that aren't necessary to pass high school, such as happiness. Just as you begin to think that the year must be getting close to June, you realize it's Wednesday, September 3rd, your 2nd day of school. Only 277 days to go. But soon enough, 2nd semester rolls around, and if you've survived this far, you might as well audition to be a zombie in The Walking Dead. The months go by a little faster, an uphill climb here and there, and then you hit the wall. Hello, finals week. Greetings, mile 19. The hardest part, everything hurts and you will vomit at the sight of another Scantron. The dark moments are somewhat alleviated by the numerous water stops, and your cheer squad pops up here and there. But before you know it, the tests are done. And you're a senior. And senior year is just so weird. And so at marathons and other lawn races, they have water stations, right? Because who can go that long without water? And it took me a while to realize that senior year is like waiting at that last water station for like 9 months or so. We're so close, but we simply can't fathom the idea that we're almost done. So naturally, we procrastinate. But now, the stations are closing, and it's time to start jogging one more time. And this is where we can stop. Turn around and look back. We are 26 miles done with our marathon. We can't see the start line anymore. We're past the first day, the starting gun. We're past our driver's test, and we still don't have a Jeep. We're done with homecoming and prom and Sadie's and the Sober Spook Fest and the Blacklight Dance and the Chanhassen games. We won't go and raid Party City anymore for USA tattoos and pink eyelashes. We won't throw any more flour in the air. We're done being sports captains. We passed that down to someone else, so when they get to this mile marker, they can feel the exact same thing we are, right now. Look around. The crowd is here, at our finish line. To the class of 2014, I ask you to take in this last moment, to look back and admire the footprint that we left at Chanhassen High School. Because before we crossed this finish line, we had to stop and put on our cap and gown and wait. The last 0.2 miles, it's finally here. That 0.2 miles starts here, from your seat at Grace Church, across the stage, and it ends at Mr. Dorway's hand holding your diploma, because that is the medal for this vast accomplishment and the roadmap to your next marathon. Thank you.
Now I'm going to take a picture with your phone and post it. This fall, I was approached by 2 seniors about honoring the life of a young woman who would have graduated with the class of 2014. These students requested in writing and with the support of their peers that we honor Melanie Laura Nelson with an honorary diploma. With that request in hand, I solicited the input of our department chairs, district administration, and most importantly, our student council leadership. The input was unanimous. It is my honor to introduce to you seniors Miranda Ludford and Danielle Wegner, who will be sharing their nomination with you.
My name is Danielle Wegner.
And my name is Miranda Ludford. And we are honored to stand before you to present the Nelson family with an honorary diploma to recognize our dear friend and classmate, Melanie Nelson, who passed away the summer before our 7th grade year.
Melanie was an active member in many school activities and always talked about her future at Chanhassen High School. She loved to imagine her graduation and already had her ceremony outfit picked out. Unfortunately, she never got to experience any of it. The dances, high school sports, classes, and most importantly, this very day, graduation.
We still remember the horrifying phone call on Saturday, August 9th, 2008, telling us that our best friend was in critical condition and on life support. Melanie suffered from a brain aneurysm Friday evening and was declared brain dead on Monday afternoon.
Everything happened so fast and nobody had the time to process it. We, as a class, were affected and things were never quite the same. Melanie was a beacon of light for everyone around her and she made everyone smile with each word that came out of her mouth.
Melanie never knew the word enemy, as everyone was considered a friend. There is still a hole in our hearts and in our class that can never fully be repaired. However, Melanie can always be remembered.
By granting Melanie Laura Nelson an honorary diploma, we are making our class complete. We lost a great friend and classmate in 2008, but the memories can never be stolen.
It is with great pleasure that we present this honorary diploma to Melanie's parents, Dean and Allison, and her sister, Rachel.
On September 1st of 2010, I stood before the class of 2014 in the main gym at Chanhassen High School. We were newbies together. The graduating class before us today was younger, more naive, maybe a little bit squirrely, but most certainly full of energy, and just maybe, I was probably a little bit lighter then too. I told them I could not wait for this day, that graduation day is my favorite day, and that we as a school community would do everything in our power to help them. And I think we did. And at that time, I also took a picture of them and posted it out on Twitter. And I'm gonna pause, you stole my thunder, and take a panel quick of the graduating class so that we can be perfectly, I have to keep this straight, it says. I'm kind of a techie, but I'm not super great at this. Almost there. How am I doing? Very good. Okay, thank you. In the interim, the class of 2014 did a lot for our school. They played a leadership role. They provided feedback about our school. They suggested how we might improve, and how we might help them be more successful. And this class helped us to form a school culture that is the envy of many, many large high schools across our state and in our country. And lastly, this class performed very well. I will say this is usually the point where I rattle off how much scholarship money our kids have earned, where they plan to attend school next year, how many conference championships they won, etc., etc., etc. And I have to be honest, that's all resume building. And while it's impressive, and we should feel proud of our accomplishments, there is something more important in my mind. Have we helped you become better human beings? And do you have the capacity to lead? Because we need leaders. You heard it from Miss Etnier today. Lift others. Class of 2014, you've heard it from me as well. You will not be judged by how smart you are, by how many awards you win, or by where you attend school. You'll be judged by the content of your characters. One of my heroes, Major Dick Winters of the 101st Airborne, and a recipient of the Distinguished Service Cross, said it best when he talks about his view of leadership for an August 2004 article in American History magazine. This is what he said. If you can, find that peace within yourself, that peace and quiet and confidence that you can pass on to others, so that they know that you are honest and you are fair and you will help them, no matter what, when the chips are down. Class of 2014, I wish you peace and happiness. And I ask that you take care of yourself and each other and those around you. Chair Bob and Treasurer Klein, as the principal of Chanhassen High School, and on behalf of the faculty and staff who've had the privilege of working with these students, it is my honor to present to you and the school board of the schools of Eastern Carver County 381 graduates from the class of 2014 for the awarding of their diplomas.
Thank you, Principal Dorway, Superintendent Bauk, and fellow board members, faculty and staff, and most importantly, our family and friends. On behalf of the School Board of Independent School District 112 and the schools of Eastern Carver County, we are proud, very proud, to accept the class of 2014 for the awarding of your diplomas.
You are just the second class to complete 4 years in the storm. And as Mr. Dorway mentioned, the first to experience 4 years of his great leadership. Your contributions to building still new storm traditions are extremely valuable. This moment could not happen without the dedication of the district's some 1,400 employees. Nor would this moment, or all the great experiences of the past 4 years, be possible without the community's generosity to build this storm that is now part of all of you. On moments like this, we are filled with enormous pride to see you so ready to carry your community on to your bright futures. Congratulations to you and your families.
And we wish you well as you continue your life's journeys. Thank you.
In a few seconds, each student in the graduating class will be called by name to cross the stage and receive his or her diploma. It is the culmination of 13 years of education captured in one brief and special moment. As I asked the class this morning during rehearsal to honor, respect, and support one another during these presentations, I ask you tonight to hold your cheering and applause until all of our students have been called and crossed the stage, and each student, first to last, has enjoyed that special moment for themselves and their families. Readers, please bring the students forward at this time.
Annika Rose Abrahamson.
Nicholas Anthony Bachman.
Benjamin Ulrich.
McKenna Grace Bachman.
Nicholas Murphy Ambrose.
Stone Anthony Bailey.
Eric William Robert Anderson.
John Stephen Barnett.
Jackson Brian Robert Anderson.
Luis Alonso Barrera.
Zachary John Anderson.
Jacob Michael Bartlemy.
Grant William Applin.
Annabelle Sarah Bates.
Alexandra Ann Dorschner.
Sarah Marie Bauer.
Raisa May El-Hadi.
Alec Justin Becker.
Dylan Joseph Loomis.
Brooke Marie Benson.
Bennett Douglas Johnson.
Danielle Elizabeth Wagner.
Emily Elizabeth Sosek.
Miranda Merlene Ludford.
Elsa Grace Swanson.
Gabriella Marie Bengelli.
Dustin Wyatt Armistead.
McKenna Hope Risch.
Anthony Ellard Ash.
Spencer Wood Tyson.
Zyran Valdez Ashley Jr.
Madeline Helen Krochak.
Stephen Charles Eichens.
Sean Robert Krochak.
Noah Parker Birch.
Austin John Daniel Brewer.
Schaefer Holt Burgo.
Aaron Anthony Brown.
Sheridan Allen Burgo.
Mitchell Stewart Brown.
Charles Ronald Bjork.
Sophia Lynn Bulow.
Caroline Marie Blomberg.
Molly Brennan Bunkenberg.
Amber Lene Boker.
Alexander Dean Bussey.
Nicole Marie Bogenreef.
Britt Noel Collender.
Austin Bowler.
Taylor Catherine Casey.
Maria Catherine Boris.
Emily Jean Castañas.
Gray Charles Boyce Erickson.
Laura Elizabeth Chalupsky.
Janessa Joyce Bradley.
Ellen Page Charette.
Haley Somil Brombat.
Tyler James Chase.
Caitlin Marie Brandt.
Catherine Bree Chrislieb.
Nicholas David Brattrud.
Jacob Paul Clark.
Devin Andrew Bratz.
Delaney Larson Cole.
Kirsten Ann Bredesen.
John Michael Conlon.
Francesca Teresa Cromit.
Carlton Joseph Cook.
Anthony James Cunningham.
Eileen Angel Ellefson.
Nick Zad Dabiran.
Colin Andrew Emerson.
Matthew Leland Dale.
Madison Grace Entinger.
Megan Lynn Davidson.
Jennifer Jean Erickson.
Sydney Claire Davis.
Catherine Jean Erickson.
Taylor Reed Davis.
Court Wallace Evink.
Jacob Carl Dean.
Nathan Scott Fiedler.
Emily Rose Diekman.
Brian Figueroa.
Hannah Alexandra Dinnis.
Luke Edward Finkel.
Bradley Daniel Doyle.
Patrick Anthony Fishnick.
Blake Martin Dragos.
Evan Nicholas Fisher.
Ellie Louise Drapp.
Isaac Scott Fisher.
Jack Lawrence Dritz.
Riley Daniel Flynn.
Amanda Jordan Dvorak.
Connor John Foley.
Kaylin McAllister Edom.
Mark Robert Francis.
Scott Edward Eichens.
Spencer Roderick Franks.
Hunter Noel Elgren.
Alex William Freeman.
Christina Marie Gam.
Aaron Paul Ferrix.
Luis Huelba Gensoli.
Julia Danielle Galler.
Emily Carolyn Gestock.
Christopher Adam Hardick.
Alec Joseph Gibney.
Jack William Harris.
Jacqueline Louise Maturko.
Zachary Allen Harris.
Michael Gregory Maturko.
Sadie Colleen Hedge.
Austin Cole Getz.
Gabriella Rose Heiss.
Alexandra Marie Gomez.
Corey Robert Heiss.
Adam Michael Gonzalez.
Brooke Nicole Hemmingson.
Megan Elizabeth Gosfeld.
Joel Lewis Hendrickson.
Dylan Joshua Graves.
Sarah Grace Hess.
Tanis Mary Gregory.
Chloe Juliet Heft.
Bridget Michelle Groby.
Jacob Randall Hokinson.
Benjamin Donald Harstad.
Shelby Kathleen Holmes.
Lucas Eric Hagan.
Eric Allen Holtz.
Mitchell Connor Hall.
Megan Young Huggett.
Tia Lynn Hall.
Lauren Ashley Hugh.
Samuel Bolton Halterman.
Abigail Lynn Hunsaker.
Kenneth Carl Hannah Deeb.
Leah Jane Hughes Moen.
Jack Thomas Hansen.
Samuel Jeffrey Ilstrup.
Justin Douglas Jacobson.
Emily Elizabeth Ingram.
Charlie Jack Jensen.
Philip Michael Ireland.
Kelly Marie Jensen.
Patrick John Klinger.
Thomas Andrew Jobin.
Aaron Renee Cloth.
Christian William Johnson.
Matthew James Koczynski.
Dakota Brandon Johnson.
Riley Paul Colbo.
Drew Bradley Johnson.
Elizabeth Catherine Korzenzowski.
Laura Mae Johnson.
McKenna May Kraus.
Madeline Grace Johnson.
Olivia Marie Kressler.
Nathan Eric Johnson.
Lauren Elizabeth Kullberg.
Reed Van Johnson.
Corey William Quant.
Jordan Ann Kading.
Samantha Renee Key.
Shane Austin Kaler.
Davis Gerald Lane.
Nicole Sproul Kelly.
Olivia Ray Lano. I love that.
Nikia Cheryl Kendrick.
Brooke Elizabeth Lipinski.
Haley Rebecca Curlin.
Morgan Marie Larson.
Stefan King Quengbua.
Annalise Larson.
Brandon Joseph Kiefer.
Grace Catherine Laurent.
Andrew John Kiso.
Christopher David Lechelt.
Shannon Brianne Kimball.
Eric Bjarni Lee.
Quinn Eleanor Kinsella.
Jonathan Michael Layton.
Jenna Lee Kirkbride.
Cameron John Lehman.
John Martin Klein.
William James Lemieux.
Ryan Lewis Lassou.
Christopher Cole Lemke.
Casey Frederick Liebeg.
John Michael Lemke.
Audie Walden Lind.
Raymonte Deshawn Maynard.
Justin Andrew Lindquist.
Madeline Jane Mazurik.
Anna Marie Lisignoli.
Gunnar Harris McCarthy.
Melissa Marie Litfin.
Abby Lynn McMillan.
Samuel Kevin Leffler.
Christopher James McNamara.
Allison Lynn Loomis.
Caitlin Elizabeth Major.
Cynthia Lopez.
Amanda Catherine Melsness.
Paige Erica Lawrenson.
Elizabeth Sharon Meyer.
Sydney Lynn Lawrenson.
Reed August Meyer.
Monica Archidapor Lunek.
Jack Rawson Miller.
Maria Catherine Lund.
Luke Chris Minsky.
Savannah Ung Lee.
Leah Elizabeth Moat.
Brennan Dale Link.
Brenna Michelle Mollett.
Emily Christine Monum.
Skylar James Mollett.
Zachary Brian Monum.
Jody Jane Moody.
Ryan Nicholas Maney.
Marcus Ryan Moore.
Maria Catherine Marchetti.
Sarah Elizabeth Morton.
Tyler Jacob Martell.
Austin Jacob Moser.
Sarah Jean Mall.
Colton Thomas Machenbacher.
Nicholas Scott Meyer.
Mason Jacob Murray.
Paige Monique Nault.
Melissa Marie Myers.
Carter Wayne Nebben.
Sarah Arquette Negengast.
Henry Patrick Niles.
Nicholas Robert Patron.
Paige Elizabeth Nelson.
Caden Curtis Pemble.
Joseph Alexander Navy.
Vin Tang Fan.
Lucas Huang Win.
Kiana Marie Pierre.
V. Chan Nguyen.
Alex David Porter.
Emily Ruth Nikolai.
Anne Marie Podoff.
Rachel Shaloa Nornes.
Julia Marie Preem.
Alexa Marie Nosling.
Gregden Salvador Probst.
Eric David Neistel.
Sydney Jean Provenzino.
Michael Patrick O'Brien.
Frank Gunnar Ragnow.
Ryan Daniel Obermeyer.
Lacey May Razor.
Emily Doherty Ock.
Keely J. Redden.
Jamie Mary Odonga.
Claire Anna Rengsdorf.
Jacob Carter Olmscheid.
Savannah Page Reese.
Robert William Olmstead.
Elizabeth Catherine Roan.
Matthew Kent Olson.
Samantha Madeline Robinson.
Hannah Marie Olson.
Austin John Reamer.
Siri James Olson.
Lucy Lynn Rogers.
David Turk Olafson.
Haley Patrice Rohan.
Travis Ronald Ott.
Joseph William Rosberg.
Mitchell James Ottinger.
Joshua Daniel Rogers.
Nicholas Kane Otteson.
Brianna Jane Rowe.
Jessica Elizabeth Paschke.
Juliana Marie Royer.
Samuel McCormick Ryan.
And Kaylee Marissa Rumble.
Amanda Jo Salentine. Nicholas Curtis Sanger.
Jack Stewart Spate.
Ashley Lauren Sauer.
Hannah Ellen Margaret Spieldenner.
Sam Richard Scarlato.
Daniel Lee Spillum.
Cody James Schimmelfenning.
James Owen Statz.
Will Nicholas Schindler.
William James Statz.
Ryan Paul Schultz.
Dylan Robert Standifer.
Connor Mark Schumacher.
Kelly Christine Stark.
Marissa Rose Schwalbe.
Blake Cullen Steffen.
Ryan James Schwartz.
Jack Edward Steiny.
Tiffany Rose Schwichtenberg.
Christian Berg Stromsness.
Evan Thomas Severson.
Zachary Niisato Stevie.
Annalise Marie Sievertson.
Zachary Brandt Sumners.
Benjamin James Schiffer.
Courtney Judith Swanson.
Gavin August Scherson.
Patrick Christopher Taylor.
Samantha K. Scrovey.
Emily May Thompson.
Hannah Marie Slavics.
Joseph Daniel Teig.
Justin Oli Smith.
Rachel Marin Alvig Tite.
Megan Ann Smith.
Mark David Troutman.
Molly Jane Smith.
Emily Faye Claire Alcu.
Tyler James Smith.
Matthew Kozel Understead.
McAllen Christine Snyder.
Aiden Thomas Upton.
Ryan Leo Souza.
Samuel Connor Vance.
Matthew Conrad Velasco.
Megan Elizabeth Vandervest.
Igor Velichkovich.
Miranda Lynn Vanette.
Jonah Paul Vernier.
Nicholas Gage Walsh.
Louis Baker Vickiolo.
Brittany Pauline Work.
Madison Marie Victorian.
Derek Kevin Warren.
Benjamin Peter Vidmar.
Sydney Nicole Watts.
Benjamin Michael Villas.
Benjamin Michael Weber.
Abigail Rose Voracek Brandt.
Colin Daniel Wigger.
Danielle Renee Voss.
Jill Elizabeth Wilder.
Deanna Nicole Voss.
Olivia Lee Wilder.
Michaela Ann Wall.
Logan Dennis Wilkinson.
Matthew David Walder.
Mitchell Anthony Weinbrenner.
Megan Marie Walker.
Jack Riley Wing.
James Jared Wall.
Madison Leigh Wolf.
Andrew Kyle Smith.
Taylor Marie Woodward. Rebecca Ann Wolf. Daniel Curtis Crippen. Alexander Harold Hagan.
I present to you the graduated class of 2014 for Chanhassen High School.